And we're back. Welcome back to the Auto Authorities podcast. My name is Jay, and welcome. We have a great show for you today. Coming up, we are going to be talking about how to avoid being scammed and the signs of a shady car dealer. That's right. There are shady car dealers out there, and there's great car dealers, but we're going to talk about the shady ones today because we want to make you more aware, make educated decisions, and keep you from making just some crazy mistakes because sometimes it's tough to determine who you should be doing business with and who you shouldn't. And we're going to do that right now.
Have you ever felt like you were taken for a ride while buying, selling, or repairing your car? Well, not anymore. I'm Jay, and this is the podcast to tell you what to watch out for, whether you are buying, selling, or repairing your car. With over 26 years of automotive experience, we are the Auto Authorities. This podcast is sponsored by iAutoAgent.com. We're real estate agents for cars.
Boom. Booyah. Welcome back to the Auto Authorities podcast, coming to you live. For those of you that are watching us live, you can watch us live at 12 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday on the Facebook group page, the Auto Authorities Podcast. And we even have a messenger section, which is really cool because there's a lot of really smart people in that. And it's really created this community for everybody to just really chime in. Whatever automotive challenge you're having, go on the Auto Authorities Podcast, join the messenger, put your challenge out there, and it will be absolutely wonderful for you. Also, if you're just joining us and you would like to watch us on YouTube, you can do that as well. You just go to the YouTube page. It's called The Auto Authorities. You simply click the subscribe button, the notifications button, and you can watch this live whenever you want on YouTube. But if you're just driving to work and you just want to listen to it real quick, these are usually under 30 minutes. You can simply go to iTunes, Pandora, Google, any of your favorite podcasting sites are great to listen to this because I think we may think we really know how to spot a shady car dealership, but I bet you don't. And the stuff I'm going to share with you today is going to be very enlightening. But before we get going, I want to thank a sponsor, Podcastify.me. If you want a podcast like this, contact Podcastify.me. And of course, iAutoAgent.com. iAutoAgent, the real estate agents for cars. When you want to sell your car and you don't want to meet strange people, you call iAutoAgent. iAutoAgent markets, lists, and shows the car for you at no cost to you. And they'll even handle the entire buying process for you. So you never have to step foot in the dealer until you approve the deal. They handle everything from A to Z, all the communications with the dealers, all the financing, making sure that you make the best decision. And they literally tee it up for you. So you're just literally going in and test driving the car if you like. And speaking of test drives, they handle all your test drives for you, getting those all scheduled. So it does not waste your time. So let's get going into this. We're talking about how to avoid being scammed, the warning signs of a shady dealer. And I assure you, there are great dealerships out there. But today, we're not going to be talking about the great dealerships. We're going to be talking about the shady dealerships. So the very first step that you're going to want to do, assuming that you have already found a vehicle, is go to the Better Business Bureau site. Now, I'm going to tell you this. You have to try really hard not to have an A+ rating in Better Business Bureau. You have to try really hard. So if it's anything less than an A+, I would be very concerned right off the bat because I have seen, frankly, shady dealers that are A+ Better Business Bureau. Look at their reviews. Look and see how long they've been in business. Is this just one of these places that just set up shop, a couple months ago? I know a few of those. I won't name any names, but there's some right here in St. Louis. And when you go on the Better Business Bureau site, you can look at the reviews and use the best judgment for yourself. Let's go to the next, which I like, is Google reviews. Now, what I'm looking for in Google reviews when I'm looking for a shady dealer is I'm looking for patterns of red flags. What do I mean by that? If somebody is consistently saying the same thing over and over in every single one of these Google reviews, you might have a shady dealer. So if it said, I sat there for 4 hours, and after 4 hours, they told me that I had to pay a $2,000 markup on this car, that is very, very shady. So you want to look for those red flags. Obviously, you're going to have two different departments. You have the sales department, and then you have the service department. Now, the sales department is really what you want to be looking at for this if you're going to buy a car. Also, look for people's names that are mentioned. Sometimes they'll mention, "Hey, Harry was great to work with," or they may say, "Harry was terrible to work with." And if you see consistently over and over again, you probably don't want to work with Harry. So those are two legitimate sites. I'm going to give you another one. Yelp. Yelp is pretty legitimate. I will say this though. Personally speaking, our company, we have so many great reviews at iAutoAgent. If you go to Yelp and you try to find those, some of those are hidden. Yelp tries to sell to dealerships and or businesses to use their service, and if you pay for their service, they will show your reviews a lot more than if you're just using the free Yelp. So that's a really good one. Consumer Affairs is a good one as well. It's just a huge site. It's used for many, many different types of things. And Trustpilot. So those are all the different review sites you can go to. And really, what you're going to want to be looking for is as you're looking at all these review sites, is there a consistency between all of them? So if all of them have like a really, really good rating, chances are they're probably a reputable dealership. So the question is what is a good rating? Anything in the upper fours is phenomenal. Some of the bigger dealerships are going to have thousands of reviews. Some of the smaller dealerships may only have less than 100 reviews. But what you're going to want to do is look at that number. How many reviews are there? And what's that number? And then, of course, when you're looking through all the reviews, you're looking for consistencies, good and bad. So, would you like to know the sites not to use? And this absolutely drives me crazy when I see there's a dealer here in St. Louis that says we're the number one dealer rater of the year every year. Well, let me tell you what Dealer Rater is. Dealer Rater is a site that dealers can get their customers to write a review about them. I will tell you this, the shady dealers are paying for these reviews. They're basically saying, we'll give you a free tank of gas or we'll do this if you give us a good review. So you're going to see all these amazing reviews in Dealer Rater. Another one is the reviews on the websites themselves. I'm going to use our friend Carvana for this because Carvana is a company that has horrible reviews. They are doing unethical things, and we have talked about this a million times. They are going to go bankrupt. And if you look on their website, imagine that. They have amazing reviews. How does that happen? Well, it's very easy for them to do that, but they can't control Google reviews. They can't control Better Business Bureau. When you look at those reviews, they're terrible. And they don't even have a rating in Better Business Bureau anymore because they're that bad. So, as you're looking at all these different sites, they have to have, again, consistency. That's kind of the word of the day is consistency. So, then the next thing that you're going to do is when you are looking at these reviews, I want you to look at um, the the patterns, but I want you to look for fees. And what you could do is, and here's a little tip for you. If you just go into, let's say, a Google review and you hit Control F, which is find, and you type in fees, you can see every post that says fees because this is something that is happening over and over again. Is there are exorbitant fees. There is a dealership here in St. Louis. If you ever want to know, I'll share it with you. They have a $10 million lawsuit because they were charging $2,000 at the end of a sale, and they don't even tell you about it until you have been at the dealership. And we all know the game. You sit there for 4 hours and then you find out about the fees. And then I'm going to share another. I'm actually going to say the name of the dealership. It's called Shift. And this company charges somewhere right around $1,300 on their fees. And it says dealer fees. But here's the problem that I have. And folks, listen to this. When you are looking on the websites, you're always looking at the price of the vehicle, right? But what you don't know is that price is not including the dealer fees. So in St. Louis, some of the dealerships have $350, $499 fees. At iAuto Agent, we have zero fees. So it's just extra profit margin for them. But here's what I don't like about it is, so they may show a vehicle, I'm just going to use $32,500, and they have $1,300 worth of fees. So if you're thinking you're going to buy that for $32,500, you are not. Add $1,300, okay? That's 33,800. There's a big difference to that. And what happens is you might skip over a reputable dealership like iAuto Agent that doesn't charge any fees. They may have 32,700 as the price, but they're ultimately going to be $1,100 less expensive because they don't charge fees. So, how do you avoid that? Well, you can call the dealership and you can talk to them on the phone. You can email the dealership and ask them what their out the door price is. And out the door means what is the price of the vehicle without all the fees. This is really important unless you want to waste 4 to 7 hours of your time. They're going to say we have a $350, $400 fee. Let's talk about market adjustments. We talked about this a little bit in one of the past episodes, but this is something that really needs to be discussed. Market adjustments is an additional addendum to the sticker, what's called a Maroney sticker that has the MSRP, and then you have the market adjustment or the addendum sticker. Dealers are doing this left and right. They are marking these things up. They're not showing what the price is when you go online for that vehicle. So you're like, oh my gosh, I found a new vehicle. It was actually in stock. It's like, oh, wait a second. They have an addendum sticker. And sometimes it could be $5,000 to $10,000. Holy cow. How would you like to be at a dealership for 4 hours only to find out that, oh my goodness, look at that. I have to pay another 5,000 to 10,000 or I can't have the car. And some people need a car. You want to also look at the reliability of the car. So take a look at the Carfax to start with. That'll give you a little bit of an idea. And we talked a little bit about that before. And I just want to really hit on a few things. So when you're looking at a Carfax, if there's been multiple people that have owned this car in a short period of time, and that dealer is trying to sell that vehicle, that could be a huge problem. There's a dealer here in St. Louis. Here's a story for you. If you ever want to know the dealer, I'm not going to start any bad blood with some of the local dealers in St. Louis, but there's one here. It's a very large dealership. And one of our really good clients went to go trade in. I'm sorry, they want to get their vehicle fixed. Just a simple oil change, maintenance, and they caught the car on fire. Yeah. So the car was up in flames. They wound up telling them about it. But what they didn't do is they were just basically going to fix the car. Well, now you have a car that's not worth as much money because the car caught on fire, and that's going to pop up on Carfax. And this dealership basically threw the book at them. I mean, they literally said, we are not going to help you with this. You are on your own. So she had to fight them and fight them and fight them. And they, oh my gosh, it was a really, really bad situation. So she wound up actually selling the vehicle back to them at pennies on the dollar, bought another vehicle from them. I wish they would have called iAuto Agent for our vehicle finder program because we could have avoided a lot. And she wound up losing not only several thousands of dollars, but her valuable time. Because remember, in life, we can get money back, but we can't get our time back. And she was a mom. She was a business professional, and she just really got screwed. And this dealership is so huge that they really they did some really bad things to her. So if you ever want to know the dealership, I'd be happy to share that with you. If you send a message, you could even send a message to iAuto Agent. I'm sorry, theautoauthorities.com. That's theautoauthorities.com. You can send us a message. If you have an idea for a show, or if maybe you have a horrible thing that happened to you from a shady dealership, I'd like to hear about it. Maybe we'll do a show on that to warn people on the specifics and the challenges. I am here to help you. That is why I do what I do. Leave your comments below. Tell us what's going on in your life if there's something that like we can help you with, because like truly this is a tough game. And most people don't know how to play the game because this is not something you do every day. But I assure you, the shady dealerships do. And let's talk about the treatment for the salespeople. So when you're at the dealership, one way you can also determine if it is a shady dealership is how the salesperson treats you. Are they giving you their undivided attention? If you're a female, are they talking to your male counterpart? It all starts from the top, and that's leadership. In my company, I believe so much how important leadership is that I study leadership. I have a leadership coach. I want everybody in my company to be happy because at the end of the day, they are the representation of my company. So when you are at the dealership and you're working with an unprofessional, somebody that is not giving you the time of day, someone that has lied to you, walk out the door. You don't need to take that abuse. There are other cars out there. Let's talk about the service after the sale. So, a lot of times dealerships will give you like free oil changes or tire rotations or maybe free dent repair. They're not doing this to be nice to you, just so you know. I just want to let you know that dealerships are revolving around the service department. And really, like if you have a substandard service department, you're going to have a substandard used car pop on that lot. Because if they're not doing their job ahead of time, you're going to wind up buying a lemon. So hopefully that you know that when they're giving you those free oil changes and all that stuff, that is not to be nice. That is to get you back into the dealership. It's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong, but they need you to come back there because that's where they make their money is from the service department. And when you have been at the service department, are they treating you well? Again, it all starts from the top. It all starts from the leadership. I want to get into the really fun stuff though. When you are on the website and when you are looking at that vehicle, I want you to look to see how many pictures they have on the website. On the new, they may not have as many, but on the used, they should. And I'm going to tell you this right now. There are companies that have even called iAutoAgent and said, "We airbrush your photos for you, and we can make your vehicles look absolutely beautiful when you go into the dealership." And I'm thinking, you guys are unethical. You know what? And so here's the bottom line of this: when you're seeing these photos and they're not showing pictures of any imperfections on those photos, you're probably dealing with a shady dealership. Because in my mind, the dealership should show every panel on that vehicle. They shouldn't hide if there is an imperfection on the vehicle. And the way that you can avoid that is ask the dealer to send you fresh photos when you call them. That way you can see and ask to see every imperfection on that vehicle. I'm going to tell you a story that may very much surprise you. Um, Somebody came to us to use our vehicle finder program. It was actually a really, really good client of ours. And we talk about how many pictures are on the website. He actually found this vehicle himself. We find the vehicle for you, but sometimes, our clients want to go out there and find them themselves for whatever reason. So anyway, he sends pictures to us and we look at the photos, and there's only like 4 or 5 photos. They're really, really nice photos. And what was really interesting is there was no VIN picture and there was no VIN, the vehicle identification number, on the website. So it looked really weird. So what we did is we started asking questions. We sent a message to this place. It was called Hot Wheels Deals. And they sent a message back, and this was the absolute bombshell. And you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you. So we have access to Carfax and AutoCheck, and we've already talked about that those are not always accurate. But they sent us a Carfax of the vehicle. And on the bottom of the Carfax, it said that they took the vehicle in inventory. It said Hot Wheel Deals. So what was really weird is my Carfax didn't say Hot Wheel Deals. So as we started looking into this even further, nothing matched up. And so red flag, red flag, red flag started going up. So what did we do? We took the phone number and we did a Google search on that phone number. And it turns out that that was not a legitimate place. So that's something you can do too, especially when working with out-of-state companies, is you can take that phone number and you can put it into Google and see what pops up. We even went further than that. We took the address that Hot Wheels Deals was, we put it into Google, and I kid you not, it popped up like this flat dirt, nothing there. And it was like, I'm getting chills even talking to you about this, because these people went so far into trying to dupe the consumer that they had on their website frequently asked questions on how to avoid scams. Yes, you heard me correct. When you call that number, do they answer their phone? Are they explaining the fees? This company was not legit. But we went even further than that. We looked up the URL, the website, and you can look it up and you can see where the website originated from. And you can see when the website actually came about. So this website was in a foreign country, and it had been created within the last 2 months. When you're finding these companies that have only been in business for a few months, 6 months, even a year, look into that, because there's something there. And it doesn't mean that they're a bad company. Don't get me wrong. But if all those things start adding up, you might want to think twice about doing business with them. After doing all this research with this Hot Wheel deals, we found out that they had 4 other sites that were just like that. And what they're doing is they're taking photos from other websites and they're putting it on their website. And they're getting these people to send them money. They had what they call an escrow account. And you send them money, and then they don't ever pull the money until you have already taken delivery of your car. So much like our unethical friends Carvana do, they deliver the car to you, and then if you don't like it, you can send it back. But what Carvana doesn't tell you is there's a nice little fee to send it back. And what this company isn't telling you is when you send them your hard-earned money, you ain't getting it back. And that's how the scam works. So let's talk about on the lot. When you are at on the lot, number one, is the salesperson available? We already talked about, are they giving you attention? Do they know where the keys are to the vehicle? If they don't know where the keys are, that will show disorganization for that vehicle. I'm sorry, for that company, but it also shows disorganization for the salesperson. And if they're allowing that stuff to happen, that could be a red flag. Let's say the car won't start or there's lights on in the car. I'm going to say this. I was in the dealership world for 18 years. When it gets really cold out, sometimes cars don't start. Um, Sometimes you have dead batteries. Sometimes you have these lights on your car. Like if it's a tire light, when it drops in temperature like it is right now, tire lights aren't terrible. But when there's a check engine light and the first thing you do to start that vehicle, that probably would be a red flag. That could very well happen, but they should be starting their cars and they should be looking at that stuff on an ongoing basis. Another red flag, they're only talking about monthly payments. When you go in there, you need to let them know that you want to know what the out the door price is. It doesn't matter whether you're paying cash or you're financing or whatever it is. You don't want to talk payments because when you talk payments, you can get yourself in a very, very big pickle. And interest rates are going up. And the longer you take the longer you take the term, your payment will go down. The more down payment you put down, the lower your payment is. So be careful of that. Um, are they going back and forth 15 times? Are you sitting there for 4 to 7 hours? If they still have the back and forth games, that's absolutely no fun. Hence the reason why iAuto Agent does the vehicle finder program nationwide. Are they providing you a Carfax? If you ask them, can you provide me a inspection report of what needed to be done to the vehicle before it was sold? They should be able to provide that to you. Are they putting pressure on you to make a decision? You should never feel pressure. You should buy because you want to, not because somebody is selling something to you. And the best way to do this, folks, is two things. Ask your friends and family for recommendations, people that they've already used and they've already had a good experience. That's the easiest way to do it. Call iAuto Agent. We have a whole list of dealerships we like to work with and dealerships we don't like to work with. And really practice these types of things and looking over the reviews and looking over the pictures and the websites and just making sure that you feel comfortable, because listen to your gut feeling when you're looking at all these things and make an educated decision. And please leave your comments below. I'd love to hear a horror story from you, and maybe we do a show on this. Leave the comments, let us know what you want to hear next time. um, this has been going on for almost 2 years now. I am loving what I'm doing. I love helping you guys. And go to the autoauthorities.com. You can leave messages there as well. We're worldwide, and really stay safe out there and avoid shady dealerships. And we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.